Shabbat Shalom family, and welcome once again to a Shabbat night talk. My name is Lewi. I'm one of the teachers of Congregation CHOKMAH BINAH. Thanking the Creator of heaven and earth for all things and everything, food, clothing, and shelter, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Thanking the Most High King for my life, the life of Yisrael scattered in the four corners of the earth. And I'm thanking the Creator for everything that He provides for us, food, clothing, and shelter, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Thanking the Creator for all my loved ones, for my safe arrival to Panama, Central America. And I'm here with y'all tonight. Hopefully the stream is coming through clear. I'm just streaming straight from my computer. I'm not using a webcam. I'm using the built-in webcam. So hopefully everything is working good. There's no delays. And y'all could let me know what's, everything that's happening. So that way I could, if I need to stop the stream, if it's not coming through clearly, just let me know. But if it's coming through clearly, also let me know, so that way I could continue. So once again, thanking the Most High for my life. Give me a 1 in the room if everything is coming through clearly, so that I can know that the stream is streaming good. It's clear, all right. It's clear, torah, yeah. So I'm thankful to the Creator that I'm here with my family. I'm here with my brother in Panama, Central America. And as always, my brother Ariel always gives me the hospitality of Avraham. And I'm thankful to the Most High God for finding my brother and connecting with him. It's important with life when sometimes you don't connect with siblings, sometimes parents, and especially fathers, they have these children all over the place and they don't have the children come together. So it's very important to meet your siblings, connect with your siblings, know who your siblings are, because then you begin to find out your similarities and the things that you do. And I found out a lot of similarities between me and my brother, and we didn't know each other for almost 40 years, so that figures, but nonetheless, we are we're we live like we always been together. And I welcome in his house and he's welcome in mine, and he gives me the king treatment and so forth and so on. So it's imperative for fathers to bring their children together, regardless of the situation. Try to bring your children together so that they could have that bond and that time together. And also, for obvious reasons, you don't want any mistakes happening out there. You never know where life might lead you, and you hear of situations, with family and things of that nature. So thankful to the Most High for this opportunity. I've enjoyed myself thus far, and as you can see, I'm in his house. So if you hear a little noise in the background, that's my niece in the background, or a dog barking. That's just, that's the conditions of the battle. I'm in a room, but some of the sounds from outside might leak. But I figured I had to be here to be with you, be with my people, being that I'm able to stream. So that's a beautiful thing, that I'm able to stream and I'm able to bring forth this lesson. So I'm thankful once again, and I'm glad that the Most High God has given me this opportunity to bring a lesson to God's people. How's everyone in the room? I hope everyone had a pleasant Shabbat meal. I just had me a big snapper fish with some plantains. That thing was good. This is my second one this week, and it gets no better than that. When you get that fresh fish, there's nothing better than that. So I'm thankful to the Creator that I'm able to do that and able to enjoy myself and eat good. You know, it's a blessing. And I hope every one of you have enjoyed your day and that you're all happy, you know, with your past week. I know some of us have had a rough week, but even in that, in having a rough week, we still look to the Creator and get a blessing. There's many things that happen, you know. There are things that happen to us in our lives, circumstances and all the things that happen. And hey, you know, we give glory to the Most High God. You know, we didn't get a chance to talk about it because it was happening while we were having services last week on Shabbat. But our heart and our condolences go out to first of all, the two people in Kentucky that were killed by a white supremacist, a racist. Gotta call it how you know it is, because now we see that what the rhetoric has done. So there's no more guessing about what's happening. So to the two people that were murdered in Kentucky, if anyone has their names, please put them up on the stream so we could acknowledge those people properly. To the two people that were murdered by the white supremacists who tried to get into the church initially and didn't get a chance to get into the black church, and then went, I believe, into the parking lot of a Kroger's or something like that, and shot two people in Kentucky. Our heartfelt condolences go out to the family of those people, and praying that the Most High God will bring them peace for this senseless act. Also for the people in the synagogue in Pittsburgh, that the Most High God be with all the families of those 11 people that lost their lives, all those elders, and praying that the Most High God be with those families and heal them from their pain. Elders, you know, that's another savage that went in there and murdered innocent people that could not defend themselves. People that could not defend themselves. Those are heinous crimes, and crimes that you gotta that the Most High God is going to judge people for. You know, but like I said, it's the rhetoric, and we have to be on a heightened alert, and on a heightened type of situation, because what's going on around us is not right, you know, and we have to be able to protect ourselves and be able to protect ourselves against the harm that people want to do to us. And one thing I agree with the president is that we need to be able to protect ourselves, and I'm gonna leave it at that, because this is ridiculous. What's going on? No respect of people, no respect of elders, no respect of anyone, and racist acts. People that do not like blacks and Jews and quote unquote Hispanics, and it's just the reality of what we live in. So we have to be very careful. We have to be vigilant in our places of worship, because our places of worship have names like Beit El and Beit Elohim, and you know, Beni Hadad, and you know, places like that. Beit Da'at, CHOKMAH, BINAH, and we have to be careful of the packages that come there. We have to be careful of all the things that happen, you know, and just, you know, be thankful to God. Send your prayers up to the Creator, and hope and pray that the Creator will protect us in even these crazy times. So once again, just being thankful to the Creator. Well, over here in Panama we're 1 hour behind, so it's 6:36. The sun just went down maybe about 40 minutes ago, but this is the time it goes down every day around the year. All right, so when you hear that, when you see the sun and it goes down here all year round, that's the time that it goes down. So you guys, actually the sun is going down in New York City ahead of time, I believe, or an hour ahead. So it goes down earlier in New York City than it does here. All right, so that's what's happening. But like I said, as you can hear, my sister-in-law is, if you can hear it in the background, is scolding my niece. This is a continuing event. But I'm thankful once again. So what we're going to get into tonight, I want to get into a couple of chapters. First, I want to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 1. Now remember, the prophet Isaiah is during the Assyrian captivity, and he begins to talk or prophesy about the downfall of Judah, right? He's a prophet for the southern kingdom, but during the time of the Assyrian captivity in the northern kingdom, and the Assyrians, or Syria, also Damascus, is pressing down on, is pressing down, or is coming to the point where Damascus, Assyria, is coming together with Ephraim, which is the other 10 tribes, and are trying to pressure Judah, into getting down with them, into being a conglomerate with them. But Judah resists, and then they try to attack Judah, but the Most High God prevailed. This is later in the chapter. So at this time, we go into the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, starting from verse 1. Hallelujah. For behold, Yahweh, for behold, the Lord, the whole host doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah stay and staff, every stay of bread and every stay of water. Right? So the Most High God is sending the word through the prophet Isaiah and saying that he's taking away every stay of bread and every stay of water. Meaning that the comfort or the bread basket or the waterways or the wells, the Most High God is going to take that away from Jerusalem, from Judah, because of the sin that we have committed, right? At one point, it's going to be besieged, and people are going to begin to eat their own babies. So these are all the things that we will begin to see and will begin to happen to us. So he's going to make us unstable. He's going to make us uncomfortable because of the things that we've done. Verse 2. The mighty man, the man of war, the judge, the prophet, and the divine and the elder, the captain of 50, the man of rank, and the counselor, and the cunning charmer, and the skillful enchanter. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. So children shall be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. This literally means that the nations that are going to come and rule over us and be over us are nations that are newly formed, nations that are not of old, people or physically, the kings of these nations are not going to even be men, right? And these are the people that should rule over us, people that cannot even make wise decisions on their own. These are the people that are going to be rulers over us because of what we did against the creator of heaven and earth, which is commit idolatry and go whoring after other gods. So these are the consequences of us going contrary to the laws of the creator. And the people shall oppress one another, every man his fellow, and every man his neighbor, and the child shall behave insolently against the aged, and the base against the honorable, for man shall take hold of his brother, of the house of his father, thou hast a mantle, be thou our ruler, and let this ruin be under thy hand. So back then, we even oppressed one another. We even were against each other as a people. It says, and the people shall oppress one another, every man his fellow, every man one against the other, as it is today, right? And every man his neighbor, the neighbor who does safely besides him, you dog him out, you talk bad about him. The child that behave insolently against the aged, and the base against the honorable. So we see examples of that today. The child acting insolently against the age, acting disrespectful towards elders and teachers. That child that does not care anything about elders and teachers is an example of what we did back then and what we do today. So nothing is new underneath the sun. And what we see and what we do, we see that people still did the same things back then, and people still do them today, that they did back then. So these are things that we have to change in our character. For a man shall take hold of his brother, of the house of his father. Thou hast a mantle, be thou our ruler, let this ruin be under thy hand. And in that day shall he swear, saying, I will not be a healer, for my house is neither bread nor mantle. He shall not make me ruler of a people. So people weren't so quick to want to be rulers of people because of the situations that you're in. We often make ourselves these elaborate titles, or we call ourselves these elaborate titles, but we have nothing. We have nothing to show or to count for it. Our work ethic sometimes is way off, right? So when we take on these titles and we take on these positions, we have to be very wise about what we're doing and how we carry it, right? So a brother doesn't want to take the position because he has no means to uphold the position. To be a king, you have to be able to watch over the people and make sure that the people are all right and are good. So why would he want to take a position of a king if he cannot provide that for the people? So he refuses it. Verse 8, for Jerusalem is ruined and Judah is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against Jehovah, to provoke the eyes of his glory. Our tongue and our doing are against Jehovah. We literally speak against God, and our doings, the things, the actions that we take on a day-to-day basis, like not respecting the Shabbat, like doing what we want to do and thinking that God is okay with it, like eating unclean, going anywhere, any place, and deem it to be good for you to eat. Things like this. These are things that the Most High God hold us accountable for. And if we don't keep things with our whole heart, mind, and spirit, then the Most High God is going to judge us according to what we know and what we are supposed to do. God knows what we could do, what we are capable of doing, each and every one of us. And if we go contrary to that, then he will be against us for all the things that we do, because we know better. Because we know better. As simple as that. We know better, and we should do better. And the Most High expects more from us. He expects much more from us. So those are the things that we have to stay on top of. Those are the things we have to watch out for and be careful about. It says here, verse 9, the show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have wrought evil unto themselves. So the show of our countenance doth witness against us, and they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. So if we look at it in today's day and time, we see everything that all the people our people are doing out there. From homosexuality to all types of things, atrocities. And as we go on later in this chapter, we're going to begin to read about the daughters of Zion and what they've done and how they expose themselves. And it's going to be synonymous to what the daughters of Zion are doing today, right? So we no longer hide our shame. Now the shame is out the closet. We do it openly because we don't care for the repercussions and consequences. And then you have some Israelites that want to bring that lifestyle into Israel and deem it to be acceptable, and that's not acceptable before the Creator, first and foremost, or before man. So those are things that we have to keep in mind. Those are things that we have to keep in line and keep in check. All right? Those are the things. Told Frankie Allen for those two names. And somehow I'll implore everyone in this room to if you could find a way to send a card to the family to express your deepest sympathies to the family, that'll be a nice gesture. You know, it's always nice to acknowledge and let people know that that we're thinking about them and that we have them in mind. All right, so that's for everyone. If you find it in your heart to do that, please do that, so that our brothers and sisters will know that there are people out here supporting them and that there are people out here thinking about them. Hallelujah. It says, so of the righteous that it shall be well with thee, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the work of his hands shall be done to him. Right? So if you do wickedness, wickedness is going to come back and return to you because of the wickedness that you do. And the righteous, righteousness will go back to them. The fruit, it says, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. That's the righteous. So do good, good will come back to you. Do bad, bad is going to come back to you. It's as simple as that. As for my people, a babe is their master, and women rule over them. O my people, they that lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy path. So this does not mean that a woman or a child cannot tell you something that's wise, right? But what it means is that sometimes as men of the house, you have to take you have to be the head, and you have to be able to steer your family in the right way, right? If you have a wise woman, it's wise to take advice from your wife. And a lot of times, you know, or most time, when you in lockstep, you and your wife are thinking the same. So it's no harsh thing for a man to lead, right, and to be the head if he has a good support system. But when you have someone that really has no control and people do what they want to do and do certain things, then the Most High God looks at that man and questions that man for his leadership, because someone has to be in charge, right? Someone has to be in charge of the nation. Someone has to be in charge of the family. Someone has to be in charge. So therefore, the Most High God looks at all of that, and he holds the men accountable for what they do. It says here, verse 13. Yahweh standeth up to plead, and standeth to judge the peoples. Yahweh will enter into judgment with the elders of his people, and the princes thereof. It is ye that have eaten up the vineyard, and spoil of the poor is in your houses. What mean ye that ye crush my people, and grind the face of the poor, saith Yahweh, the God of hosts. So God, the Most High God, looks at the elders and the leadership and holds them accountable, because someone has to be accountable for what the people do. So he's saying, listen, I'm holding you accountable for abusing the people, right? What mean ye that you crush my people and grind the face of the poor, saith Yahweh, God of hosts. We got all of these mega church preachers that get themselves rich off of the poor and of the people, and won't look out for the poor and the needy. These are things that we got to keep in mind. So the Most High God is going to visit all those people who do these things, who grind the face of the poor and make themselves fat off the people, the Most High God is going to visit all these people and is going to hold them accountable for all of the things that they do. So these are things that we have to keep in mind. Verse 16. Moreover, Yahweh said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tingling with their feet. So, because the daughters of Zion walk with stretched forth necks, like no one can tell them nothing, with wanton eyes are like wandering eyes, right? Walking and mincing as they go. Walking and mincing and shaking, you know how our sisters do, and making a tingling with their feet. They got the ankle bracelets with all the bells and whistles on it. Verse 17. Therefore Yahweh will smite with the scab the crown of the head of the daughter of Zion, and Yahweh will lay bare their secret parts. Why? Because just like the men and the leaders, the daughters of Zion also went astray. So sometimes we often blame the man, and the man should be blamed to an extent. But women have a mind of their own, and women also have to understand that God is judging them for what they do. So if you're doing Torah because your husband is doing it, or because your significant other is doing it, then you're way off of the scale. You have to be doing Torah for your own self-preservation, because that man could go reprobate tomorrow, and what are you going to do? You're going to go reprobate also? You have to be able to walk in the path, and you have to be able to continue, because that man could be gone tomorrow. He could pass away. The Most High God could take him away. What you going to do? You're going to go back into the world and turn his children back into the world, and that often is what happens. Unfortunately, and you have some sisters that have been strong and hold it down, and I've seen all types of stories. I thought some sisters wasn't going to make it, and they still here to show that they're strong. Husbands have died. They just come into the way of life, and they've held on. Women that husbands have divorced them and separated and gone into the world, and the woman is still holding it down. A woman is so important because the woman is the one that trains the child. And a lot of times the child is closer to the mother. That's just a fact. Especially, sons. They have this affinity for their mothers. So it's important for you to get a God-fearing mother that's not just doing Torah for you, but is doing Torah for herself. Is doing Torah for herself, and that's living this, and that wants to live this for herself. That's very important. Or else, it could be a problem. Verse 17, therefore Yahweh will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will lay bare their secret spots. They can't grow their hair because their mama put a perm in it from when they was... Ooh. That one pulled the muscle in the back. Goodness. One of them hard sneezes. Goodness gracious. So, excuse me. It just felt like I pulled the muscle. So, you got the scab on your head from your mother burning your hair follicles. Can't grow your head no more, so therefore, the baldness, right? And then it says, and Yahweh will lay bare the secret parts. Now, who lay bare the secret parts more than our sisters? Cut off shorts, tights, halted shirts, belly shirts, and all types of stuff. We're not supposed to be bearing out our secret parts. Those secret parts belong to your significant other. Those secret parts belong to your future significant other. When you like to bare your breasts, and you like to show cleavage, and you like to do all those things, wear the extra tight clothes and the extra tight, those are revealing parts, and those are part of a curse. To be sexy is something that's just supposed to be with your significant other. You're not to be sexy. The word sex is in it. It's something that has to do with attracting or being attracted or with the way that you look. if you have a husband, who you trying to look sexy for? You know, who are you dressing up and going outside for if it's not going to be in the presence of your husband? You could do whatever you want to do in front of your husband. That's your husband. You know what I mean? If you want to put on whatever you want to put on in front of him, then that's your husband. Right? But to be going out there and showing it to the world, you know, it's a little bit it's I would say it's wrong. You know, I would say it's wrong because you're bearing your secret parts, and this is part of a curse. This is definitely part of a curse. So we have to be careful with that. We have to be on top of that. We have to know what we're doing. So, you know, those are things that we have to think about, and we have to be on top of that. Things that we have to keep and talk about. It says some women bear their secret parts because they see men looking at those women. I don't think that's an excuse for bearing your secret parts. If you have knowledge of self, and that's just my opinion, if you have knowledge of self, you're supposed to know better than that. That is something that's personal between you and your ish, and that's just what it is. Is we're not supposed to fall into the curse. Verse 18. In that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their anklets, and the fillets and the crescents, and the pendants and the bracelets and the veils, and the head ties, the armlets, the sashes, the corselets, the amulets, the rings, and the nose jewels, the aprons and the mantlets, the cloaks and the girdles, and the gauze robes, and the fine linen, and the turbans and the mantles. So it's going to come a day when God is going to take all the things that make us beautiful, right? Now, when it start talking about nose jewels, you know it's talking about an Eastern, people from Africa, because Europeans do not naturally wear nose jewels. And you're talking about ankle bracelets, that come with us, people of the East, cloaks and girdles and aprons and robes and gauze linen and turbans. That's us. That's our people. God took all that away from us and gave us nakedness, gave us baldness, gave us all that so we could see ourselves in a nasty state and perhaps repent from that, and come back to God. And many of us are on the comeback because we put back on the turbans and the nose jewels and the ankle bracelets and all the things that make you desirable and pretty and beautiful, not by nakedness, because these are the things covering up is what makes you desirable to a righteous man. What makes you look beautiful to a righteous man. Not showing your breasts and your cardio. That's just, when a man looks at you, that's just lust. That's not a love and finding beauty in you. That's just finding lust in you. And that's just being straight up. Verse 24. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet spices, there shall be rottenness. Right? Instead of smelling good, women smell like they rotten. They don't even clean themselves properly. They don't do certain things to bring forth some hygienic to be persistent with their hygiene so that they could smell right. Nothing worse than a woman that smells like rottenness. That's the worst. And you might know some people out there that smell like that. You might know some people out there that smell like that. You have to take care of that, but that's part of the curse. It says, and instead of a girdle, rags, right? And instead of curl hair, baldness. Instead of our beautiful curl hair, that our daughters used to have with the barrettes and stuff of that manner. Now they, like I said, they burn their hair follicles. They take that ironing comb or that perm or whatever it is that they do and burn their hair out, right? Now you got baldness. And instead of stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, Branding instead of beauty. Branding instead of beauty. And isn't that truth? Women got tattoos. Our women got tattoos all over your bodies. That's a form of branding. We're not supposed to do that. That's against God's Torah, right? The putting on the tattoos on our bodies is against God's Torah, and we're not supposed to be doing that. We're supposed to be a holy people to the Creator. We're supposed to be different than everyone else. Putting on tattoos is definitely not different than everyone else. And her gates shall lament and mourn. Utterly bereft, she shall sit upon the ground. So the gates of Jerusalem shall lament and mourn because of what the daughters of Zion and what the man of Israel will be doing. So it's very important, brothers and sisters, for us as God people to be on top of our game and to understand the things that we're supposed to do. Right? We're supposed to do that which is right, walk in His ways, in His laws, statutes, and commandments, and understand that God is jealous. Right? My messages are always about the oneness of God and the jealousy of the Creator and how we must keep Him in mind, right? It says here, some women's bear their secret parts to be seen. If somebody says you look sexy, that means they're thinking about sex when they see you. Absolutely. I remember seeing the women dressed like that in culture when I was a child in the camp. Imam Havarez said, yes, we must never forget we all live in a modern Sodom and Gomorrah, but men and women are lost and out of pocket, wicked. Absolutely. Frankie Allen. If you are serving the Most High, you will not need to show your secret parts to anyone but your husband. Trust the Most High for your man. I have tats before knowing the truth. That's when you do certain things before you come to knowledge of yourself, that's understood. We're talking about people who do it with knowledge of Torah and they still go do it. They just totally went against the laws of God. You broke the laws of God, but not knowing, which is a big difference, right? All you could do is pray to the Most High God and that He forgive you for those sins, and that way, the Most High God will have mercy on you because He's also a merciful God. All right, Tamika. So, Yavra, just put your trust in the Creator. TLH Photography writes, also literal branding as a mark of ownership during chattel slavery. Okay, I could go for that. Yes, at Frankie Allen. If a woman wants a righteous man, she shouldn't use bait that will attract the unrighteous. Okay. Shabbat Shalom, fam. Marsha Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom, my beloved family Yisrael. Soldier, Shabbat Shalom, fam. So it's very important for us to understand that we are a holy people, right? And in being a holy people, holiness has to exude out of us, right? So coming back to holiness, there are a lot of things that we have to keep in mind that sometimes we forget, but we getting back to them. We getting back to holiness and righteousness before the Creator. All right, so those are things that we have to keep in mind, things that we have to keep in check. I'm actually thinking that I'm coming down with a cold here. That's why I'm sneezing so much. Make sure I don't got nothing hanging off my nose while I'm talking, because y'all make a joke out of it. Let me look at myself through the camera. Make sure I don't got nothing. All right. Got to keep it right before y'all start talking about me. So, Yeah, brothers and sisters, those are the things that we have to keep in line. Let us go to the book of Proverbs chapter 3, starting from verse 1. It says, "My son, forget not my teaching, but let thy heart keep my commandments. For length of days and years of life and peace will they add to thee. Let not kindness and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thy heart. So shalt thou find grace and good favor in the sight of God and man." So this is King David teaching Solomon, right? And we sometimes look at the Proverbs and they're credited to King Solomon. But David was the one that was putting, as they say, putting Solomon on to the wisdom. "My son, forget not my teaching, but let my heart keep my commandments." And this is ultimately what every parent wants their child to do. Not to forget their teaching and to let their heart keep their commandments, meaning the things that will help them to carry on in life, to become better people. We all want our children to follow the right road, even if we took a wrong road. Most of us, if we are in the right frame of mind, we don't guide our children into the wrong road. It said, "For length of days and years of life, peace will they add to thee." If you follow the commandments, if you do the things right, it's going to give you longevity. "Let not kindness and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck and write them upon the table of thy heart." Kindness and truth. Kindness is the way that you deal with people in a good and just manner, right? In a righteous manner, and caring for people and doing charity for people. This is kindness. And truth, it says, "Let not kindness and truth forsake thee." Truth is always be truthful with people. You know, tell people the truth so that people know every side of the story and they know exactly what you mean. Even if the truth is hurtful towards you, be truthful. And then people will know you for being a truthful and honest person. "Bind them about thy neck and write them upon the table of thy heart." Make kindness and truth be a part of you, and you walk with them on a daily basis. So shalt thou find grace and good favor in the sight of God and man. Not only will you find favor in God's eyes, but men will look at you as an honorable person because you deal with truth and with kindness and with righteousness above all. "Trust in Yahweh with all thy heart and lean not upon thy own understanding." This is very important because a lot of times when we are isolated and we're segregated, we don't have the opinion of anyone else or the perspective of anyone else. So it's very important always when you come up with a new idea or with something new that you think should be implemented or done within the nation, before you start to do it, you should present it before a body of brothers or sisters, and you kick it around and you see what's people's understanding of what you're bringing, right? Because a lot of us tend to lean on our own understanding, and then we isolate ourselves, and before you know it, you got a new thing going on. You're not really doing Israelite culture. You're doing your own thing. You know, so it's always good to run things by people so that people will be able to analyze it and be able to shoot it back at you and say yay or nay. You know, it says here, verse 6, "In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct our paths." In all your ways acknowledge God, and he will put you in the right path. You can't go any better than that. It says here, "Be not wise in thy own eyes, fear Yahweh and depart from evil." Don't come up with your own wisdom of things, right? Because you think that they're right. It says, "Fear Yahweh and depart from evil." Always lean on Torah and depart from your own evil ways. That's what that means. Depart from your own evil ways. This is important for us as a people, for us to have that understanding. Don't forget also to just a brief message. Don't forget to share on your different social media channels, and don't forget to like the video, and just to share it and to subscribe to the channel. Verse 8, "It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones." So this is the life source, right? Truth and kindness and righteousness should be health to your navel and marrow to your bone. And the marrow of the bone is where the blood is created, right? And the blood is the life source of the body, is what helps to send oxygen throughout the whole body, right? Through the cells through the cells, right? It sends the oxygen through the body, right? So this is what truth and kindness is compared to. So we must walk with it all the time. Honor Yehovah with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thine increase. Man, not just with lip service, but what you got. Honor God with that. So we don't do the money speech, right? We don't do money speeches. We only, at the end of Shabbat, we ask for donations and obligations. And we expect that people who have will contribute to us because we bring forth a service, right? And this is not just going in our pockets, but it's going into equipment. As you can see, I'm constantly trying to improve with the equipment. I'm constantly buying new things. I spend y'all's money back on y'all. Computers, sound, wires, all types of stuff. As you can see, I mean, today you can't see it because I'm doing it from a laptop. But on Shabbat, your stream is 1080p. You can watch it on a 55-inch TV. You can watch it on a 65-inch TV without it looking pixely. I'm constantly tweaking the sound and buying new devices to make the sound good. So this is where you honor God with your substance, right? And you help us out in order to be able to find a bigger place in order to worship God's people, right? So everything that, if you find it in your heart, if you're on the chat, you're supposed to always be motivated to say, you know, when the sun go down. And we don't go throughout the day dealing with business. We don't go throughout the day asking you for money like, hey, send to our PayPal right now, you know, in the middle of the day. We wait till the end of the day when there's the least amount of people on the chat to ask you for a donation or an obligation. So even if you come on early and you know you're not going to be on later, it'll be nice just to come back later, hit the link. The link will still be there under the descriptions, and say, let me contribute to these guys. You know, that's my money speech for the year, I guess. I'm not used to doing it. This is definitely a cold. I could feel it coming on from sleeping underneath the AC, but it's okay. It's better to sleep underneath the AC than to sweat all night. Verse 10. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy vats shall overflow with new wine, my son. So the good that you do for Yah, he will return it and give you plenty. That's a simple math. My son, despise not the chastening of Yehovah, neither spurn thou his correction. And that sometimes is the problem with Israel. We sometimes look to blame everybody else for what happens to us. We find a scapegoat. But we never consider that Yah is the one that did the things. So therefore we out of focus. Once we put Yah into the picture, then we're back in focus and we could begin to repent correctly and begin to ask forgiveness of the Creator for what we do. But we don't do that. We like to blame people for the wrong that happens to us. And sometimes that correction comes directly from Yah. For whom Yehovah loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. So Yah loves you, so he corrects you. Just like a father corrects his son. But sometimes we don't want to accept the correction. But all correction comes from Yah. All correction comes from Yah. It says here, verse 12. For whom Yehovah loveth, he correcteth, even as verse 13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, the man that obtaineth understanding. When you find wisdom and understanding, man, you're happy. It says, Ashrei Adam, Matzah, Chasma, where Adam Yafik, Tevuna. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom and the man that obtaineth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, the gain thereof than fine gold. Because when you find wisdom and understanding, it's better than any precious metal that you could think of. She's more precious than rubies, and all things that thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her, unto wisdom, because wisdom is the principal thing. So you can't compare anything with wisdom, because with wisdom, wisdom helps you get silver, gold, rubies, and diamonds. Wisdom helps you to get that if you apply it properly. Those are the things that we have to think about. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand are riches and honor. So when you gain wisdom, you could gain riches and honor. But first you got to gain the wisdom, right? Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. This is wisdom. Her ways are pleasantness, and pleasant, and all her paths are peace. So if you're not living in a peaceful path, you don't have wisdom. You're not dealing with wisdom. Those people who deal with ruckus and constantly have to be on the strife or constantly have to be at odds with people, they're not living with wisdom. This is the wisdom of Solomon. People who live on the constant strife and constant fighting and things of that nature, they're not living under wisdom. They're living under their own volition, and they're doing their own thing. Because wisdom, it says right here, verse 17, it says, her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. That's wisdom. She is the tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is everyone that holdeth her fast. It's ironic that we're going through this, and I believe the name of the synagogue that got shot up by that racist white supremacist was named Tree of Life, right? Eitz Chaim, right? Wisdom is compared to a tree of life, which nourishes and gives food to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is everyone that holdeth her fast. Happy is everyone that holdeth fast to wisdom, holds on, grabs on to wisdom, because it's going to take you far. Jehovah by wisdom founded the earth, by understanding he established the heavens. So wisdom was there with the Most High God when he established the heavens and the earth as well as the angels, right? Wisdom was there. By his knowledge the depths were broken up, and the skies dropped down the dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall they be life unto thy soul, and grace to thy neck. These things shall be life to your soul and grace to your neck. Wisdom and discretion. Walk with them. Always think about what Yah would do, or what Yah would think in the actions that were taken. Then shalt thou walk in thy ways securely, and thou shalt not dash thy foot. You walk with wisdom and discretion, you wouldn't dash your foot, you wouldn't break your toe, you wouldn't stomp your feet. And this is symbolically speaking, it's talking about you wouldn't make the mistakes that you constantly make if you walk with wisdom. So we have to acknowledge that wisdom is a key ingredient to us as Israel, but we must walk in it. So those are the things that we have to think about. Get what I'm saying? So these are things that we have to keep in mind, and we have to talk about. Wisdom and understanding are priceless. All right? Those things, man, are the best. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt not lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. When you lie down, you shall not be afraid of what tomorrow might bring, because you worried about life and what. Man, you sleep quietly and good. Have good rest. Verse 25. Be not afraid of sudden terror, neither of the destruction of the wicked when it cometh. That's right. Don't be afraid of it, because the Most High God has ordered it. For Jehovah will be thy confidence, and will keep thy foot from being caught. So Jehovah is our confidence, and he keeps us safe in all of our paths. So all we have to do is put trust in him, and he keeps us safe in all of our paths. Withhold not good from him to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thy hand to do it. So do good to the people that is in your power to do good to. Say not unto thy neighbor, go and come again tomorrow, and I'll give when thou hast it by thee. Say, don't send your neighbor away and say, hey, man, I'm going to pay you when I can. No, you have it by you, pay it. Devise not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwelleth securely by thee. Don't go by his yard. Don't start talking to his wife. Don't start doing things that will bring that will break that confidence away. Always keep your neighbor as a close, secure friend. That's the way to do it. Strive not with a man without cause, if he have done thee no harm. Don't strive with a man with no cause if he done you no harm. Envy thou not the man of violence, and choose none of his ways. So the man of violence, don't follow after him. Don't try to be like him, because his end is destruction. For the perverse is an abomination to Jehovah, but his counsel is with the upright. So Jehovah's counsel is with those who do that which is right. The curse of Jehovah is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the righteous. Right? So Jehovah curseth the wicked, and he blesseth the home of those who are righteous, like us, who strive to do that which is right, who keep the commandments. If it concerneth the scorners, he scorneth them, but unto the humble he giveth grace. The wise shall inherit honor, but as for fools, they carry away shame. So it's simple and plain. If you do that which is wrong before the Creator, you're gonna walk away with a lot of shame, with a lot of with your head being down, with disgrace. If we walk with wisdom, we'll be pretty good. So once again, thanking the Most High God. Thanking the Most High God for everyone who's in the chat with us. Ima Havared, Delilah M, Bathsheba Yisrael, Tamika Yerah, Renison Alfred, Bathsheba Yisrael, Israel, Kawa. I love loving for the truth, I guess. I love to tell the truth. Kashum Levy, Beautiful Forever, Moradina, Daffy J, Maury Yeshaya, Frankie Allen, Soldier, TLA's Photography, Adon Moshe Yisrael, Elionel Arana, RC, Tyrone Webb, Deshelle Pearson, Emima Prescott, my sister, Queen Yisrael, Kava Wanser, Nazira, Naya Yisrael, Kashkuya by Yisrael, Julie Figueroa, Figueira, and everybody else who might be joining that never typed in. Shabbat Shalom to you all. Well, I won't see y'all tomorrow because I'm in Panama, Central America. But the brothers who will be on tomorrow we have a very specially invited guest, Chief of Chiefs, Naftali, will be teaching the lesson. And I believe we have another invited guest that will be doing the Maftiz portion. And the afternoon is going to be Maury Yiftach doing the history. So join us. You already know what it is. I'm an hour behind you guys. So it's 8:25 in New York City, I believe. I don't know, some other states it might be an hour behind or an hour ahead. I'm not sure, but we're an hour behind over here in Panama. I believe we're under like Central Time right now. I believe Central Time is an hour behind. So We're actually 7:25 here in Panama. So thank you. Thank everybody for joining in. Keep your prayers up for Israel, for the congregations. You know, even under all the stuff that's going on right now, be safe. Torah, be safe. I'm just going to be locked up in this room for tonight all the way till tomorrow. Just go out and grab something to eat or wash up or whatever. But I'll be locked up. That's usually what I do. My brother says I just go into hibernation. He said, I don't even come out. I said, I can't come out. You know, I don't want to disrupt your family. You guys are watching TV and all of that. But it's a blessing that I have a place and someone who respects, you know, what I do and gives me a space in his home to be able to observe it. So I'm thankful for that. So thank you once again. Thank you for joining us. May Yah bless each and every one of you. Shalom, shalom. And may Yah, and see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. on this same channel. Shabbat shalom. Yisrael.